Hello there, welcome to a new Android programming tutorial. Today we have a really cool tutorial coming up. I'm going to cover how to use some material design features and how to use an overflow menu. If you don't know what an overflow menu is exactly, it's when you click in the top right corner of the screen in Android, in those three dots, you can display a menu instead of just going to settings. So let's get started. Again, use Android Studio because that's what Google wants you to do from now on. Don't use Eclipse because it's painful. Alright, we're just gonna start a new Android Studio project. It's going to be a normal drill from now on. We're going to name it, you already saw I had an example from earlier that I did for preparing this tutorial, so yes, Overflow material example. Next, for the minimum SDK, make sure you're using Lollipop because we're going to be using material design. So if you use something lower, you may get in trouble, and Android Studio will yell at you. So let's just say next, blank activity, and finish. Now let's wait for Android Studio to start the project. Tip of the day, we don't really care too much, let's just close it right now. It's really useful though, so make sure you read them. Don't care about that, my gate is not set up because I like to do it through the command line instead. Alright, so the first thing to use material design, it's really simple. Just go to your Android manifest in here, and in your Android theme, this field in here, you're going to change it to, let's see how it was, Android style theme. There we go, material like the action bar. There we go, just press tab and we are set. Now we're using material design, and if you go to your main activity, you can see how it changes, or how it will change, because here we are going to use, this is just using the app theme. If you want to visualize it a bit better, you can just say material light dark action bar. This is how it's going to look. Alright, so once we're done with that, we have to define our overflow menu. To do that, in Android Studio, you basically just have to go here to the menu, and here. This is really simple, really similar to Xcode in the assistant editor. Let's make it a bit smaller so we have more space. Tell me how the font size is for this. Make sure you're able to read everything. So we're going to define a group here. It's going to be, wait, did I delete something important? There, I shouldn't have deleted one. There. So let's say group Android checkable behavior. We're going to call it single. That means that you can check whatever is going to be in this group. And we're going to define the item. Item first Android ID equals. This is going to be the ID plus ID. Menu red. Our app is basically just going to change the action bar color depending on what we click in. Really simple. Android order in category is going to be number 1. This is going to be a first element. Android show as action, we're going to show in never because we don't want it to be like a button. And Android title is going to be, we're going to define a string in a moment. String red string. Right, once we have that, we just close it, and let's define a couple extra ones just for the sake of it, because otherwise there wouldn't be much of a point in the application. So menu blue and menu green. They're going to be 2 and 3. And our strings are going to be blue string and green string. So now you notice how the Android Studio is yelling at us because we don't have those strings defined. So just go to the values string here, and we're going to make them. If you don't want to type too much, just copy that, paste it, and we're going to have let string, string, green string. Well, let's just do another blue string, and now green string. And here the actual string is going to be just red, blue, green. Alright, we're almost there. There's only one last thing we need to do, and that is actually implement the functionality. So if you just go to your main activity here, you're going to see this option already implemented from Android Studio on option item selected. Alright, so just go in here, we're gonna delete this is just noise right now. And you see this field ID, get item ID, that's this ID, what, not that one. Yeah, this one. This ID we're defining in here. And if you pay attention, you can see the preview in here. Really cool, and it's also interactive. It also moves. This is why Android Studio is so much better than Eclipse was. So we're gonna just use a simple switch statement here. If you don't really know how to use them, it's an if statement a bit more simplified. It's more efficient if you look into the assembly code it generates. But we're going to specify case r.id menu red, and this is going to be, if we click the red one and ID is going to be red, we simply say if item dot is checked. So if it's already clicked, item checked to false. Very easy. Else you can probably guess it. If it's not checked, well, we check it. And now get action bar. This is a way to get an instance of the action bar. Set background drawable. And now you have to pass a drawable to this, so we're going to say new color drawable. And from here color, the parse color if you want to, because we're going to use a hex value for a color. If you don't know what colors to use, you can check the Google guidelines of material design. They tell you what colors are. This is the light red for material design, F44336. I don't know it off the top of my head, so I had to read that. And once we have that, we just need to return. Boom. It's yelling at me because I don't really know why it was yelling at me. Well, anyways, we need 3 cases, so this will be menu blue and menu green, and we're gonna change those colors to 03A9 F4. That's light blue in material design, and not A4 CAF50. That's the green. I think that's actually a dark green in material design because the light green is really light, and I didn't know how I was feeling about that. And of course, like in any switch statement, just define the default. We're just going to return super.on options item selected item. Bam. Real easy. If you have any questions, just post the comments, and if you want to see the actual code, just ask for it. I'll post a repository on GitHub, but if no one asks for it, I prefer to keep them private, so you guys actually have to watch the video and follow step by step instead of just copying code and not understanding what's going on. So just place that play symbol to actually run it. You can see it's processing it in here. It always takes some time the first time you build it. Choose an emulator. I already have an Nexus 5 running. Just click OK. And that should be it. Let's go here. Alright, so here is our emulator running. We click here, red, boom, blue, green, and that's it. But remember, this is already material design. It's actually really easy to implement it. What's complicated about it are actually the animations. Hope you like this tutorial. And again, if you have any questions, just post them in the comments, and hope to see you again next time.